Good morning. It's so nice to be here. We love coming back here every year. It's great to see all your smiling faces and to be able to share what God's doing. I, of course, left all my things at home today. But we made it on time.
Yay!
God's got it all.
Yay!
But we've got the word, and that's where we're going to start from. So John 1:5 says, "And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." That is our goal, for our light to shine in the darkness of the jail. Every time we go in, and anyone from our team, that we can just share Jesus' light and his truth to all the inmates. So we're just blessed and grateful that the Lord allows us to go in. That the sheriff lets us come in, that we've been able to go in as our jail ministry now as a nonprofit. It is such a blessing. And literally every time I walk in, I say, "Thank you, Jesus." So we're grateful for that. We have a team that God's just brought together, pastors, mission workers. There's 15 of us that the sheriff allows on the floor. And we have close to 15 right now. And we're just blessed that we can all go in there. So some of the pastors do actual Bible studies with inmates. They pull them out of their cells and they do Bible studies. Most of us go cell to cell and just meet the inmates where they're at. And so for me, I think I've shared this before. I just bring my Bible and a notebook and I get prayer requests and talk with the women. A huge part of what we do is build relationships with each one, and we just hear what they have to say and listen and just share the Bible and the Word and God's truth with as many that want to receive it. So we're just so grateful. We're humbled. We're just amazed at what God's done in the time that we've been there. And we're grateful for people like you. We just know that there's so many churches and people, individuals that are praying over the ministry, and we feel it. I can just attest to that even that we're in the jail like we are as a nonprofit, it's just by God's grace and his mighty works that we're allowed to go in. So what?
Oh, I said by his miracles.
Right, his miracles. So I was just thinking, these verses just came to mind. I know Pastor Noah said brief because we like to talk. We like to talk.
It's always
So
great.
we're going to try.
It's always
But
great.
this popped in my head when you were talking about smiling faces at the parade. The joy of the Lord is our strength. And that's it. The joy of the Lord will strengthen us. And sometimes we have to walk through it. And that's why I tell the inmates too, you're in this season right now. Sometimes you got to walk through the season and you'll see on the other side what God was doing. Just step by step being faithful to him and watching what he's doing. And then it'll all make sense later. We know in our lives that that's what's happened. And God's used some really hard times in our lives to help us be able to relate to inmates in a way that we didn't want to go through those hard times, but now looking back, it's like, Lord, now I see, and now I can relate to this woman in this situation because I was in something somewhat similar. Or, Jeff for a while was an atheist, and so he can
in my 20s.
He can come alongside these guys who aren't believing, and he can understand where they're at and speak life into their situation. So the Lord's used all these different situations. But I just have one quick story about what we do.
And take your time. Don't be rushed. Sorry.
Okay, I know. I'm sorry.
Take a breath. I don't want you to press on
I know,
you.
because I know Jeff will talk.
No.
So I'm trying to get my words.
Take your time. Take your time.
So I'm just thinking of just an example, the light shining in the darkness. So there's an inmate that was in a cell by herself, and she had been there for just a few days, and I hadn't met her. And I'm just so grateful that we can go in that space and bring Jesus life in that space, because she's 21. She's like the age of my daughter, one of our oldest. And I just think, wow. And so I'm grateful for the timing that the Lord has brought us in, and we can do that. And that these girls want to hear. I feel like a mom to some of them, a grandma to some of them, So I'm grateful for that opportunity where they really want to listen. But this girl, she's 21. She had such a terrible upbringing. It's so sad.
Can't even talk about it. It's so horrific.
Horrific. And but she had one experience when she was about 12, where she was at a Young Life camp, and she said the music spoke to her heart at that camp, and she talked about how she wants to be able to work for Young Life when she gets out and that kind of thing. And so we're praying over all the details for her. But it's just one example of how God uses us to be able to speak life into these situations and just to listen. There she was all day, and then to have someone just come and sit. I have a stool. And I just sit, because I used to sit on the floor, and that was really gross. So Jeff got me a stool. And then I just tells them I'm here to listen. I'm not rushing by. you know, so I sat down and listened to a bit of her story. And that's just one of the small things that we do. And some of the men and women are there for a little bit. One I've known for 6 years. She's been in and out. And I've gotten to know her family on the outs, and I know her kids, and go to some of their basketball games and soccer, you know, just I get to know the family, and it's a blessing. She's grown so much. When she started out in jail, she had a special sticker on her outside of their cells. They have their picture and just information about them. So when we go through, we can see that and know their names and help us remember names and that kind of thing too. But she had a two-man
Two-man move.
Two-man move. It's
That means
called.
she's a high risk for violence or something in the
So
jail.
when she first came in about 7 years ago, she had that. She had to have two guards take her anywhere because she was so violent, and she was in a cell by herself in a max cell.
Not anymore.
So she has grown so much in these years, in and out, and now she's waiting for trial, still waiting again for trial. But she said it's all God's timing. And it's just so cool for me to see all these verses that the Lord's given to me to sow into her life, that now she's saying them, and like people come into her cell and she's ministering to them. You know, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, the seed grows, right? And it's just, it's amazing to see how God works in all these different little individual situations and the families. So we're just blessed. We're grateful and we're humbled to be part of this. And thank you so much for all of your prayers and support.
All right.
Okay, now I'll sit because Jeff's going to talk a long time.
3 hours?
3 hours, yeah, 3 hours.
Good. Oh, she's having a seat. I'll just go about 3 hours.
I know.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Grab some water.